Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am doing a quick sort of late night live stream for studentloanjustice.org here tonight. It's June 21st. The battle is raging for student loan justice, ladies and gentlemen. Our opposition is apparently very frightened because they are just overwhelming the zeitgeist with oppositional nonsense, lies about how student loan cancellation will force Joe the plumber to pay more in taxes, how student loan cancellation will cost the taxpayers, how most recently, and this is what I want to talk about explicitly tonight, the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, just released a report saying that the national budget deficit will be increased massively because of student loan cancellation. And I need to take you through that, ladies and gentlemen, because it's very important that you understand what's actually going on. These are complete lies. And here's why. So, and it's kind of a long story, but let me just say this. The Congressional Budget Office is an accounting office for the federal government. They get all their paychecks from the taxpayer. So maybe they're a little bit biased. But here's the top line lie. The top line lie is that taxpayers are being forced to pay for our college because we refuse to. And the student loan cancellation that we're seeing is a cost to the taxpayers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that even legally speaking, that is a complete and outright lie. Student loan borrowers have repaid their loans. In fact, if you talk to the vast majority of people in our group, few of them, but the vast majority of the few who have seen their student loans get canceled, you will find that over the life of their loan, they repaid almost 70% of them have repaid as much, or more likely far more than they originally borrowed. So what our opposition is doing is they are pointing to unrealized government profit. And the fact that they are not going to make that government profit, they are calling that a cost to the taxpayers and making it sound like Joe the plumber or Joe the janitor is going to have to pay for your college. That's completely, pardon my French, but that is batshit crazy false. And there's any number of examples that I could trot out to illustrate the inanity of that claim. So one that I like to use is, for example, suppose you buy a lottery ticket for $1, right? $1 million jackpot. You buy the lottery ticket for $1. You scratch the ticket. The ticket actually wins back $1. It's one of those lame tickets that you get back the dollar that you put in. So most people would say, yeah, I didn't lose any money on that lottery ticket. Our opposition, the student loan swamp, and their sycophants all across the internet, who knows what the reasons are. I think most of them are making money off of this scam in one way or the other. They would claim that lottery ticket that won back only $1 actually cost them $1 million. And so the question that I put to people is this, assuming what I just said: buy a lottery ticket, win $1, don't win the million. If you then tried to write off $1 million on your taxes as a loss, that lottery ticket as a loss of $1 million, what would happen? You would go to prison for accounting fraud, for accounting fraud. This is the sort of accounting fraud that is being played on us, the American people. Now, most of the people watching this, I assume, probably have student loans. And so you might think about it a little bit more deeply than most people do. And you can understand what I'm saying. The government has made its money back on student loans. Now, the fact that it won't make as much profit as it wanted, well, since when does the government make a profit on anything? You know, our opposition, what they are actually saying by spinning this lie, which would put them in prison if they tried to do that with their own personal finances, what they're actually doing is insisting that the federal deficit be solved from profits scraped from federal student loan borrowers. Now, and we're a fiercely nonpartisan group. I hate the Democrats. I really hate the Republicans, but they both suck. Even Donald Trump himself was wise to this scam, and it is a scam. Back in 2015, Donald Trump said, why is the government looking at student loans as a profit center? The government doesn't make a profit on anything, guys. Nothing. Almost nothing. Maybe some patent income or something. There's some slimy ways the federal government makes money, but I'm here to tell you, the federal government is not a business. It was not meant to make a profit. And in fact, when the student loan program was rolled out in 1965, President Lyndon Baines Johnson declared that the loans would be free of interest. His exact words. He said, we can make these student loans free of interest. Well, today, $100 billion a year in interest alone clicks off on our backs. We are not a cash cow for the federal government. And if you think about it, just think about it for a minute, even the government breaking even. So let's say today, all student loans, all federally owned student loans, or most student loans, were canceled tomorrow, today, right now, this instant. Could you really say that the government is losing money? No, you can't. The government has been repaid. And in fact, in actual fact, the government breaking even on student loans, it means that they found a way to educate their citizens, to get college educations for their citizens for nothing, for free. That's a pretty good deal, wouldn't you say? Like, the federal government is supposed to be helping the people. Most other civilized countries on this planet pay a lot of money to educate their citizens. Well, our federal government, the U.S. federal government, and this is assuming that every nickel of federally owned student loan debt, which is 90% of all student loans, were canceled tomorrow. Even still, the government would have broken even, i.e., figured out a way to get college educations for tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions if you go back in the past, of its citizens for zero money, for free. That is a very, very good deal for the federal government. We piss away money in the most stupid ways imaginable. It's massively expensive foreign wars, you name it. And I'm not going to go there right now, but everybody knows all the waste, the wasteful money that the government spends. Student loans are a break-even proposition for the federal government. In other words, completely free, zero cost to the government, even assuming every nickel was canceled tonight. So our opposition is actually insisting that the federal government make a predatory profit on these loans. And they're pointing to these budget estimates from the CBO, which are nothing more than forward-looking estimations. And indeed, what the CBO is actually doing is insisting that we solve our federal deficit on the backs of student loan borrowers, who the federal government already managed to get a college education for free. That's what the CBO is doing here, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Janitor isn't paying a fucking nickel, pardon my French. Joe the plumber, Pete the plumber, is not paying an actual nickel for this thing. But yet our opposition has found a way to make it seem to the public like canceling student loans is Uncle Sam just writing a check and charging the taxpayers for it. It's not a cost. It is not a cost. Canceling profit is not a cost. Don't forget that. And please don't forget that analogy that I brought up at the beginning. This is the accounting fraud that is being used against us by Harvard professors and University of Chicago economists and the Congressional Budget Office and a pit viper's nest of sycophants in Washington, D.C. and Wall Street who think they're clever. They think they're clever. They think they can put this over on us. Well, I hope that you're smarter than that. I know that I am smarter than that. And I also know that, as far as I can tell, this group, we're pretty much one of the only research bodies, and that's what we do is research, pretty much one of the only groups that are that is telling the truth about this student loan scam. So I hope that you'll spread the word about this. I hope anybody who tells you that student loans are a cost to the taxpayers, I hope that you will maybe point them to this video. Maybe even better would be to point them to our Medium channel, which you can see there. The very top article right now is student loans cost the taxpayer nothing. Point them to our Medium channel. We break very important, largely unreported news on that Medium channel all the time. Like a couple of weeks ago, we broke the fact that older people now vastly outnumber younger people. So people over 35 outnumber people under 35 with student loans by 2.1 million people. People over the age of 50 outnumber people under the age of 25 by 2.3 million people. This is an older person's problem, far, 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 far more than it is a younger person's problem. So we break that sort of research that you will not read in the mainstream media all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote the first published book to be critical of the federal student loan program. Over the years, we've broken very important stories about like student loan debt surpassing credit card debt. On 60 Minutes in the Wall Street Journal, I've written hundreds, maybe even thousands, certainly hundreds of articles on the topic at this point. I know what of I speak, and I am a very careful researcher, and we do not publish lies. We're not that stupid. We only publish what we can prove, usually through nothing more than Department of Education data. So point any of the haters you might come across in your personal life or on the internet to our Medium channel. Have a look at the articles yourself. I think you will be pretty amazed at the truth that is out there that is not being reported. One other very important truth we broke this year, it's probably even worse today, 80% of all federal student loan borrowers today are not making payments on their loans. 80%. And if you count the kids who are in school, and they probably shouldn't be paying, it's like 78%. So it's still almost 80% of all federal student loan borrowers are not making payments on their loans today. And by the way, that's another one of the reasons that the Congressional Budget Office had to revise downward its budget projections. Don't be fooled, guys. Don't be fooled. Be smart and read our articles so you can be smart, and so you can help us spread the truth, guys. You know, a lie like the CBO nonsense and the claim that student loan cancellation costs the taxpayers, those lies make it around the world twice before the truth has a chance to put its pants on in the morning. Supposedly Mark Twain said that. But I'm telling you guys, the lies are just flowing fast and furious against us right now. These are probably your loans. If you're watching me, you probably have student loans. This is your problem. And I'm telling you guys, our opposition, they're a pretty small number of people, but they're very clever. They've got a lot of money to throw around. They're very well resourced. And they've got a network of influencers, echo chambers, loudspeakers, mouthpieces, media. They've got a lot of communication tools at their disposal that we don't have. So it's incumbent upon all of you, each of us individually, me, you, everyone watching this, that we spread the truth so that people really understand what's going on. Because remember, you know, around 20% of the adults in this country have student loans, but that means that 80% do not. And so, you know, if you're watching CNN, you see a headline and you don't know anything, you don't have any connection to that issue or knowledge, expert knowledge, you go, oh, okay, I believe that, right? That's just human nature. Well, that's being used against us, guys. And the truth is a stubborn thing, but the truth is a very slow thing. So I just hope that you will keep that in mind. So maybe I'll wrap it up with that. I'm sorry I can't do this on live on Facebook anymore, so it's really kind of a pain in the ass now. Facebook rejiggered their casting protocols, which I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to solve that or not. But anyways, if you do have any questions or comments, if you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, by all means, throw them out, and I will respond to them later, if not live. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I should say, if you could please donate at this time, it would be very helpful. I'm just a regular guy fighting this battle, just a normal person. We are the largest grassroots group in the country, meaning just normal people, no formal legal structure. Although I am running for president, I could say that legally. If you go to collingeforpresident.com, I will cancel student loans. I'm your guy. But anyways, yeah, we are a fiercely grassroots group, guys. I'm just a normal guy. I can fight this battle on very, very little, like about $3,000 a month. But I can't do it on nothing. So if you appreciate the work that I'm doing, the work that we as a group, Student Loan Justice, have done, are doing, and are poised to accomplish, hopefully before the election, then just please donate, guys. Right now, we need 75 people to donate $5 or more. And that's roughly the same as around, I think, 17 or 18 people donating $20 or more. And if you go to studentloanjustice.org/donate, you can make a personal gift from you to me, and that will greatly ease my burden and allow me and this group and stuff to focus on the fight at hand. Guys, I'm telling you, we're getting our lunches eaten right now. I mean, it's very hard to stand up. There is strength in numbers, guys. We've got 1.3 million people on our group, at least on paper. When a significant percentage of our members start joining me, people like Jackie and Lisa and Anthony in Utah, and so more people, Martha, more people than I can mention, obviously. But if even 5% of our members were actually going out of their way to tell the truth, nothing more, the student loan problem would be solved in weeks, maybe a couple months, but certainly in no time at all. There's great strength in numbers. I'm glad you found us. I hope you'll tell everybody you know about student loans. I hope you'll tell everybody you know with student loans about student loan justice, is what I meant to say. And I hope that you'll take some encouragement here, guys. You know, just the fact that our opposition is fighting so hard to drown out the truth with their mis and disinformation, I think that means that we're over the target, ladies and gentlemen. I think that means that we've hit a nerve, and they are very worried. And they should be, because they are trying to perpetuate a catastrophically failed loan scam that the founding fathers themselves are looking down and shaking their heads about. The founding fathers are on our side, ladies and gentlemen. Constitution is on our side. And I will just leave it at that, but I will wish you all a good evening. Check us out again, studentloanjustice.org. Check out my website for president, collingeforpresident.com. Let me just turn on my ticker here for 2 seconds so that you can see the presidential campaign website. Write me in, guys. If not you, who? I will absolutely cancel student loans, and you can see much more at the website there. As a write-in candidate, we're gonna have to break the machines on this one. You're gonna have to bring your pen to the polls. So I'm excited, guys. I hope you got some out of this live stream. I'll see y'all soon. Good luck. Godspeed. God bless. And God bless America.